Hello, welcome back to Actual Play World of Dungeons. Speaking of dungeons, we just delved into we just took the first steps in.
Yeah.
So yeah, Judd, can I see what kind of lantern do I have? Do I have since we make such a point of it? Do I have an oil-based lantern or an orb-based lantern?
I think you scored well on your thing, so I think you can choose. You prefer orb, yeah?
Yeah, well, I think in this weird case, I was going to say oil because I'm
Right.
concerned I might have to burn away these weeds.
Yep.
So
I was not
it,
thinking of this when I said that, but yes.
no, it's great. So I think normally, it would have been like, oh, you want your orb? No, no, no. Give me an oil lantern instead. Um, so I'm holding up the lantern, and I want to see if the lantern lights seems to have any effect on the vines as we come in. Do they wither from it as well, or are they unaffected by it?
I don't think they wither. I
Right.
think there's no withering, even from
Mhm.
the sunlight.
Got it.
It's not so much withering as there's a sense of movement all around, and like
Hmm.
where you put light, movement stops.
Got it. Okay. All right. I'm like, well, it doesn't appear to be related to the sun, so keep light. So try not to let anything creep up on you in the shadows. Any vines creep up on you in shadows. That is. Um, and I look because at this point I am sort of genuinely hoping that Scarlet does have something, and I say, Scarlet, you know anything you can tell us about this hall before we dive into it? And I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to, in front of the hunter, appear like I'm doing my job, but trying to convey to her with body language that like I'm trying to check in with her.
Right, right. She nods like, "Hey, yeah, I'm all right," uh, and says, "You said the hall was called Oathbreaker Hall."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Oathbreaker is what they would call dwarves who rebelled against the Sorcerer Kings because they made an oath to them early in their arrival. And she looks like one of the flowers on the vines, and she said, "This looks like yellow musk creeper," which is what some of the Sorcerer Kings. There was one Sorcerer King named the Fell Gardener, and this was one of their favorites. It's a
Is it dangerous? I mean, just about wrenched my arm out of my socket, but
yeah. And I think like one of the hunter says people use that shit to make drugs. She says, "Yes, it does have illu- it has
okay.
properties. It has properties, but it's dangerous. Yes. Don't you have a book for this?"
Yeah, it might be in there. Let me look. You know, the monster manual is real iffy about whether it considers it's a lot stronger in the fauna category than it is the flora category. But you know, if it tries to kill you in an active way, we probably have an entry for it in the monster manual. Let me see if I can find it. You
Yep.
know, and I'm like in the P section. Is it under Y? Is it under P? For plants,
Right.
flipping through. So yeah, let's make a lore roll on this stuff
Cool.
with good old monster manual. Um, I think on a 10 plus from the gear check, I get to take +1 forward on one sort of gear related roll. Does that
Yep.
sound
Yep.
right? Okay,
Yep.
that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna take +1 on this roll
Cool.
for using the monster manual. Oh, I didn't even need it. That's an 11.
Nice. Yeah, you find the yellow musk creeper, and it even has a cool picture in the fiend folio.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite monsters, and they're like yellow musk zombie too. Is that like a yeah, totally zombie, comma yellow musk, and yeah, it is a nocturnal hunting weed that will uh, grab mammals and turn them into undead. And
Cool.
and
Awesome.
they sleep during the night, or they sleep during the day. So light tends to, kind of not put them to sleep, but they tend to go dormant in enough light.
Yeah. Um, all the games I've seen with Sean seem to have drugs. Well, that's fair. That's probably true. Uh yeah, yeah. Let's see. Let me share. Let me share a little picky pick that I just got of the yellow muscreeper poop and pump and add to stream. There we go. Nice,
Yep.
nice little. All right. Okay. So I'm just sort of like skipping over the I'm just sort of skipping like nocturnal, uh, attacks mammals, turns into undead. Oh, good. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So we've got some undead causing weeds here. And I kind of look through any way to abate them or destroy them or anything like that. Say anything about any tools for clearing them out?
Um,
Who wouldn't smoke that? Android asks. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, if they grab you, they recommend hitting the roots. Uh, it's a plant,
yeah,
so
yeah. Okay, so I say like, well, let's see if we can figure out where it's rooted and dig it up. I'd rather do that than burn this whole place down just to get rid of it. Let's see if we can find a find a source of this. So let's follow these weeds back. Um, so I'm gonna, with the light out and trying to make sure that we're all sort of in it as much as we can be, I'm going to start moving towards moving down that hallway
yeah,
and basically like specifically looking where the vines are coming from and trying to see if I can figure out where they're getting thicker and where they're rooted.
yeah, sounds good. Uh, yeah, they're definitely getting thicker as you go down the hallway at the little T intersection.
Yeah.
There just has two little alcoves. So you go down two flights of stairs. The other door is open. At the T intersection is like is a dwarven shrine. And rather than gods or spirits or whatever, there's an axe on one shrine and a crossbow bolt in the other. Like not an actual axe or an actual crossbow bolt. It's literally like they carved statues of those things, uh, as if they were praying to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Micah's a vaguely like superstitious person, and so out of they have no idea what dwarven rituals would be, but like out of deference, they like put their hand on the axe blade of like, yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like I recognize it, and then kind of
yep,
move on, right?
awesome. Yeah, and I think like you put your hand on the axe blade and it comes off yellow.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, And
Yeah.
the vines get thicker as you go. And like you can feel them kind of moving and shifting. And then there are stairs up into the feast hall, and uh, in the middle of that big hall is a stalk that kind of goes from floor to roof,
Jesus.
uh, and embedded in that stalk is a skeleton,
Nice.
and yeah, it's just sitting there right now, but uh, you're kind of putting your as you put your lantern light across, movement stops as you put the light across, but as soon as something goes out of light, it starts kind of writhing again.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, okay, we gotta make sure that we don't get boxed in here. All right. Before we go in that room, we're clearing this hallway. So, Andre, I'm gonna need you to pull some weight here and help me get these vines off the wall. I want you to Blue, you hold the light. I'm gonna hack it with the axe. Andre, you pull it off the wall. I want to make sure we're not we got a pathway out of here, and these vines don't come. If we have to run, I want to make sure these vines aren't grabbing us as we go into this hallway.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to coordinate them so the vines can't grab us because we got light, and
Yep.
I will hit one with the crow axe, and then Andre can sort of pull it off the wall and make sure it doesn't and separate them. And I'm not expecting that I can get into the room. I'm just thinking that the hallway, if it's just got some vines going on the walls and whatnot, I can
Yep.
I can try and
Yep. Yeah, you're definitely like as you walk down this hallway towards the Great Hall, you're definitely like not walking on stone anymore. You're walking on like a carpet of these roots.
Jesus, yeah,
And yeah, you're right. The wall, it just goes right up the wall.
yeah,
And cool. Let's make a roll to coordinate that shit.
yeah. I think it feels like wisdom. Does that sound right to you? To coordinate this?
I feel like
What do you
wisdom
think?
is like perception and shit, and
Yeah.
holy rituals.
Okay. I think this
Maybe
is
charisma.
charisma. All right, I'll take it. Let's roll that. Woohoo!
Nice.
Apparently, I need to click the buttons and not roll.
Yeah,
Roll the
and
dice.
yeah, I think you give the right people the right jobs, right? And
Cool.
and from experience that if you give the wrong people the wrong jobs, uh, the whole shift could be taken up with clearing this little hallway,
Right.
and then you'd have to eat into overtime, which is going to mess things up. So yeah, I think you get that all chopped up, and kind of you're all covered in this yellow musk pollen,
Yep.
and I think it smells like corpses.
Mm. Okay.
Uh,
Like
in
fresh corpses, like rotting corpses, or like old corpses,
like old.
like
Well, no,
Pee-wee. Like, are we gagging, or is it like
I think it's pretty gross. I think
okay?
it's pretty gross. It definitely smells like death.
Yeah. All right. So I've got my undermask on, and I've got all the protective gear on, but I think I'm still like coughing and hacking. Like, oh my god. Okay, hack, and then cough into my arm, and then hack.
Yeah,
All right. Ugh. Gross. 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 But at least if we need to run out of here, which I think we're gonna need to, we hopefully these things can't just grab us on the way out.
yeah. And the other thing I think that happens is that Andre, as he's moving stuff around, being manacled to Scarlet just doesn't work. And so he's like, listen, I don't think you want to run and be lost in these mountains. But if you do, you're not in my city anymore, and I don't really give a shit. But I don't think that's what you want. And if we're going to clear these things, we gotta, this isn't going to work. And he rattles the chains. So I'm going to give you a little space. Don't betray my trust. And she nods. like a predator. And he takes the manacles off. And I shouldn't say she nods like a predator. She nods like, yeah, I hear you,
Yeah.
like, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 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 dangerous and I don't like this at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it
Is
seems like
what I
you're
would
both
say.
still very wary of each other,
Yeah, totally.
which,
Wary is definitely the word I'm looking for.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yep.
and I nod at him. I'm like, good call, because I'm sure the chain was getting tangled up and all this crap too. And
Yeah, it wasn't working. It was not working.
anytime you have any amount of flexible uh, cord of any kind, it just always wants to get wrapped up in shit. And with the
Yep.
vines and all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, good call. And I'm glad that he came to it on his own, and I didn't have to coerce him into it.
Yep.
Um, Once we've got him cleared, and I'm like leaning against the wall. Okay, at least I don't have to worry the wall's gonna attack me.
That was
Scarlet,
smart. That was smart. I think Andre like lights up a cigarette and says it was smart to clear the exit.
sort of pull down my mask so I could take a drag off the cigarette, assuming he's sharing.
Yeah, yeah. He hands it around.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Let's just hope that these roots on the floor are not as mobile as the vines were, because if so, that was all for naught. But I think we're clear. And I take a drag and I hand it to Blue, who I know
Yeah.
smokes as well.
Yep. Yep.
While we're taking a smoke break, I asked the thing
Yeah.
that I always do, which is, so Andre, which district did you grow up in?
Uh, I'm 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 a yeah. I grew up in Fleet.
Oh yeah. Your parents got a boat, or do you are you in one of the tenements?
My
That
parents my parents were both sailors. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, same. Yeah, I grew up, and I tell them, the boat that I grew up on,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
yeah,
like yeah, you clearly like you don't know each other, but you knew a lot of the same people, right? It's that
yeah,
kind of like city thing when you grew up in the same area. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and I say, you ever play any Wyvern Ball?
Yeah, of course. I I played for I played for the Fleet Temple School.
Good times. I'm sure I
Like
saw you. I'm sure I saw you in a league match. I played but never got very far. And once I lost my arm, I gave up on it. I tried a couple times. It wasn't fun.
I can understand that. Listen, I heard you Delver guys were all like bleeding hearts who were gonna scream at me the whole time I was here about sapience and shit. But you guys are all right. I don't know if you know how to have a good time when he like looks at like all the work you just did, but it's good work. It's honest.
It's work, that's for sure. I mean, there might be some people who would have been upset about us cutting these plants back. I don't know. I don't know if this stuff is sapient or not, but you know, if it can show if someone can show signs that they have deductive reasoning, then and they can make choices their own, then I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm kind of like looking at him, but like I'm like
Right.
pointedly not looking at Scarlet. Like
Yeah.
I'm making it obvious that I'm talking about Scarlet by not looking at her. Um,
He does not make that connection at all.
all right. Well. All right. Well, you clearly used to play. You clearly must have played, egg catcher, because you got a good arm on you, and I think you got a good arm on you. I hope that's as the most strenuous work you got to do, and then I sort of go to pass the cigarette to Scarlet to see if she smokes. I don't know if vampires smoke or not. I don't know if she smokes or not.
Yeah. Yeah, she takes it and like looks at it like, oh, it's like a pipe, and she takes a smoke
Nice.
and you know coughs a little bit, but nods and hands it off.
Yeah. So
Ha-
Scarlet,
yeah,
do you know why the dwarves rebelled against the Sorcerer Kings? I mean, other than the Sorcerer Kings are a bunch of assholes.
yeah. She says, "I don't know why these dwarfs did. Maybe the clues are in here. I don't know."
Yeah. I'll put money it wasn't the dwarves who started it. The victors get to write history. It just doesn't sound to me like a bunch of dwarves who are real big. I mean, I don't know much about dwarves, but I know they're real big on oaths, would just spontaneously break them for no good reason. Seems like maybe they realized they got the raw end of the deal with the Sorcerer Kings, like everyone else did.
She nods. She's like, "Yeah, I'm getting that idea."
Do you know anything about? And I point like inside the room, kind of like it's sort of like signaling the. I guess we're getting back to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have a bad feeling that we're going to go into this room and whatever's in that stock is going to try and I don't even know, eat us, turn us undead, ask us riddles 3. Do you anything about this look familiar to you, or is this alien?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh shit. Yeah. She says we had a few rebellions when I was a queen, and they were put down with yellow musk. Uh,
No, Jesus. Well,
they. It looks like that the ghoul in the center there is the main stalk. If we destroy that, it should weaken the entire place.
all right, let's go talk to the ghoul, find out their story. Everybody, keep your eye out. Blue, hold on to the light if you don't mind. I want to keep my axe free in case I need it. And kind of do a little check, and then we start heading into the room.
Cool. Yeah, I think the like who has the light? Where are you pointing it? How are you apportioning that
Yeah,
part of it?
Blue has the light, and keeping them right in the center.
Yeah.
I think I'm just in front of them, and Scarlet, and it's big. We're not having to go single file, so I think Scarlet and Andre are in the back.
Yeah. And I think the like blue keeps the light on that center stalk,
Yeah.
and you can see the stalk kind of following you guys as you walk around the room, and it as she like concentrates the light on it for a while, it stops following you, and like almost like a little like hood comes over goes over the skull,
Mm-hmm.
and it just stops moving.
And kind of take the crowbar end of the axe and like tap the stock a little bit to see if it's gonna snap or respond. Not hard,
Right.
just sort of poking and prodding it, and I go,
Yeah, it's hard. I imagine it like rattan.
yeah,
It's like a thready,
yeah, hard
you
to
know,
hard to chop. I'm
hard to
sure
chop.
my shoulder's sore already just from the stuff in the hallway,
Yep.
and from getting nearly wrenched. Um, and I, is the skeleton accessible, or is it like buried inside of it? Like,
Yeah,
can I
it's
touch it?
buried. It's
Okay.
buried. Yeah. And especially now, like you might have been able to like see the skull, but then like the hood came down.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could just stand here. Do we have a second?
And Micah, Micah's debating between hack away at the plant to get to the skeleton beneath, or it seemed like it was actually more visible or more accessible before the light was on it, or like turn the light away and let it kind of roam
Right.
free, but then it might very well attack us. Um, and
I think you hear Andre say there are things moving back here where there's no light.
all right, all right. Let's. Okay, Blue, you might have to bounce this around a little bit. Why don't you put the light on behind you, and I'm gonna see what I can make out here, and I would like to do a partial transformation.
Okay.
It's clear that Micah is stressed out. They're worried about putting people in danger,
Yeah.
and they don't want to just go chopping away at things. So um, I would like to transform so that I can see better in the dark and I can see what's happening when the light isn't, on the stock. And I think that is one of the possible options when we do the transform into a werewolf move.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me pull up that move. Lycanthropy. Yeah. When you surrender to the moon and allow lycanthropy to take hold, roll plus wisdom. Make sure I got that up. On a 10, hold 3. On a 7, 9, hold 1. SMC out of best. How long call the back? I think what I'm looking for is turn into a hybrid wolf human.
Right.
And do and yeah. So I say, like, everyone, this is gonna I might start making some weird noises. It's okay. And Micah, like, reaches in um underneath their shirt and
Yeah.
pulls out this silver emblem. And the camera, while they're still light on it, can catch that there's like a scar because the silver is literally like burning into them all the time.
Oh
There's like a
man.
scar on their chest where the silver is, and they pull the silver away so it's not touching them anymore, which is basically the thing that like helps them suppress being a werewolf all the time.
Got it.
Uh, and uh, yeah, let's make this roll. Let's do this thing. Let's get all wolfy up in here. So I'm gonna roll plus wisdom, which is
Cool.
not my good stat.
Nope.
But hey, come on. Whew. Okay, I'll take it.
All right.
Just now.
Hold
7. I gotta hold on. So yes, I'm gonna turn into a hybrid. I'm gonna wolf out here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some, of course it's all done in the shadows, right? Because the light is pointing away from me. So the
Right.
audience doesn't get to see the full grotesqueness of it. You can just hear the snapping and twisting, and the fur bursts open. The fur starts bursting out of from underneath the skin, or from underneath the clothes
Yeah.
and skin. But and I did describe it this time, but it's described before. Michael intentionally wears very baggy clothing. Although I think the overalls that I pulled up over my shoulders, might have forgotten to pull them down, so those might snap off. And
Yep.
yeah, and anything you want to, any other part of the shift anything else part of that move that you want to
No, I think you
cover?
can smell the death in here really vividly.
Yeah.
And you can probably smell uh like a chemical smell coming from the east, and a lot more of the dead coming from the north, and like some kind of water coming from the west.
Mm.
Um, and that's really that, I think your senses get sharp.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like those are the main things that like you pull up right away is like, there are more of these bodies in the north. And that seems to be like where the last stand was made. And then, off in the east, uh, you can smell some kind of a chemical smell. And then in the west, yeah, some kind of, yeah, there's running water.
There's running water. Okay, great. Yeah. So with the light off of it, does the hood pull back? Do I see any
Yeah.
more of the skeleton? Okay.
Yeah, totally. And I think like, the vines have like moved their way in to the jaw. And yeah, if the light is off it and the hood comes up, like I think the vines are moving the bones of it, and it kind of hisses. Are you wading in? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, yeah. I want to see if this undead is sentient, is the talking kind of undead, or is the fighting kind of undead, or
Right,
so and it's harder to talk now because I'm got this
right.
growly voice, but I kind of bark. Uh, do you uh um, tell us your names. I kind of bark and I say, tell us your name so that you can be laid to rest and remembered. And I want to offer up this, like, if you're done haunting this world, like, I'll cut you
Yeah,
free and bury your corpse. And
yeah. They
that's
are.
my offer, right? Like
Yeah,
I
they are not interested in that. Like I think the vines start grabbing at you, and you know the vines are grabbing at you and like trying to pull you down.
yeah, right. I resist for like a moment. I resist for a moment. Like trying to see if like they'll come around, and I'm like, okay, fine, have it your way, and then I start hacking away at
Okay.
the vines, and I don't really want to. I'm curious about whatever that chemical thing is, so I don't really want to try and like destroy the stalk. I don't even think it's possible with an axe.
Yeah.
But I do want to cut away enough that we can get out of here and go to the east.
Okay.
Um, I think I'm going to try and like do a defy kind of danger move.
Cool. So like, are you like barking at folks to like, so to speak? Like, yeah, let's go east,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like, but like holding them off, holding the vines off until like,
exactly.
cool,
Yeah,
great.
I got the axe in hand, and at some point there's definitely like a vine coming. Like I bite with my teeth,
Yeah.
like I got the full maw, and
Yep.
I'm hunched over. Even though I'm taller, I'm like hunched over, and I'm uh, ready to, yeah. As I'm cutting away,
Yeah.
I think I should roll Dex to try and slip free,
Sounds
hack
good.
away and slip free.
Yep.
Cool.
And cover your friend's retreat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think you engage them, and they definitely came for you and you alone.
yeah.
And so like, Blue keeps the uh the lantern light on their path, and so you all break east, and there's like some stairs going down, um, and yeah, awesome. Where you can see that there's like a door to the left and a door to the right. That they're closed, but they're not locked up like the front door was.
Right.
And I think like there are vines here, but it's not as strong as everywhere else.
Good.
And I think that, yeah, yeah.
Do I get the sense that the chemical smell is coming from one or the other, or is it not distinct
Yeah,
enough?
it's definitely to the right.
Okay. Yeah. I just sort of like, um, I yeah, I think I was pulling up the rear here because I was trying to close this off. So I say I point with the crow. I point with the axe to the door on the right. I go
Yeah.
and I kind of growl
Yep.
to
Yep.
indicate to go in there.
Cool. Yeah, and when I think when you walk into that room, again, like covered in this yellow pollen, there are vines here, but they're much weaker than in the other areas.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular room is covered in, or it's got racks. The pillars like have these stone uh, uh, stone pieces coming out, and there are these things hanging off of them, and you realize that like this is where this is where the dwarves uh, kept their money, and the things that are hanging are like gold coins that are just like as this big around,
Wow.
and because they're not like gold coins are not made for like to be put in a bag and spent. They're made for merchants to like gold bullion almost.
Mm-hmm.
But these are round, or maybe they're even like triangular, and they've got like a little handle on the end of on one of the long ends of the triangle, and those long ends slide onto these pieces of the pillar, so you can like you can put them all up like one against the other, and keep a bunch, and the pillar is covered in these like you know jutting like porcupine stones, and on each stone are a bunch of these dwarven gold coins,
Got it.
covered in I think coins is the wrong word. I would say gold,
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Gold slabs,
gold
gold.
gold pieces,
Yeah.
and they're covered in that pollen, but when if you move them, then like there's no pond like between them, right? Because they've been like locked together, kind of not airtight, but tight enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
If wolves could whistle,
yeah, I was good. It's funny you should say that. I was just about to say like Blue like almost like whistles through it. Like I think Blue kind of like whistles through her teeth like woo, and and Andre says, "Holy shit!"
huh? Sort of grunt. I'm looking at it like I'm kind of in disbelief that this much gold would be left behind by anybody. Like
Right.
this seems like more gold than I've ever imagined, and
Yeah.
it's hard for Micah to not think of like how much the people in Fleet could use this money, but it's
Right.
like not their job, and it's not okay. I mean, I think part of the Delvers creed is like we're not looters, right? Like that is not what we
Oh, interesting. Cool.
come for. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of people that make exceptions, but like
Right. Right.
we're not here to pillage. That's what the Sorcerer Kings did, you know?
Right.
And if we do, if we do bring anything back, it's supposed to go to the Delvers Guild, and it's not meant to line our own pockets. But this much is just like it's just ridiculous, right? It's
Yeah.
just like it's kind of disgustingly, uh, and yeah. So Micah doesn't really know what to do. This is the first time I think they've ever seen like this kind of wealth, and then I think like what kind of brings in the background is like smelling the air, and I try to figure out like what caused that smell because I don't think
Yeah.
gold
Yeah.
coins would have this
Yeah.
chemical
Yeah.
smell.
It's not in here. It's definitely in the room. In that last room, we like there are two rooms off of this room.
Right.
There's one to the left and there's one down. Like there's one to the west and there's one south.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're definitely what I just I tried to click on it because I was foolish and I didn't realize that I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. There's this one room to the west and then there's one to the south. The chemical smell is coming from the one to the south.
All right, through the double doors.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know if anyone's like making motions to like grab one of these slabs, one of these bullion pieces, but Micah just sort of growls and it's like, "Huh," like let's keep going, like
Yeah.
obviously none of this stuff's going anywhere,
Yeah. Good
but
point. Good point.
you know, so and they kind of at this point they're gonna catch because they were behind when we first came to this room. At this point, they're gonna take back, go to the front again, and I go up to those doors and um, yeah, try to push them open or
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think they push open easy, and inside are uh, are what the dwarves call dragon stabs, but what we would call rifles. And
Mhm.
the chemical smell was dragon fire powder,
Mm.
and their barrels, there are 6 barrels of dragon fire powder, and bullets, and you know dragon stabs, uh, all along the walls here.
Sort of like run my like like come up to one of the barrels, sniff it, and then look around, see if there's no immediate threats. Right, there's no vines coming after us.
Nope, it seems like you left those behind. Yep.
Yeah, and kind of I think part of like being in wolf form, like all of Micah's senses are heightened, but also like their desire to be like impulsive and like tear things apart and like leap and bound and just like take action is like very strong.
Yeah.
So I sort of like do some breathing exercises and then I grab the coin and then I like lean the axe against the wall and I grab that silver talisman and it's you could smell some sort of burning sound as it like burns in my hand and I like slowly try and slide it back under my thing and then
Yeah.
change back to human form
Got it.
because I just like this needs thought and planning and there's no like wolf form is great when there's immediate threat but there isn't right now so you know um, or when you
Yeah.
have to travel long distance there's lots of reasons to be a wolf but this is
Yep.
playing with dwarven dragon sticks is not one of them
Yep.
so um, there's no role to change back right I
Nope.
don't think
No.
there's
No. 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 Yeah.
yeah
I'm not the least bit interested in that. Yeah.
all right uh does anyone seem phased by it? Does anyone care? I don't know that everyone knew that.
Andre. Andre's probably been a hunter long enough that he remembers when werewolves were hunted.
Yeah.
So he's clearly like a little put off.
Yeah.
He's keeping his distance.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'll look around. I go, all right, everybody, we got two choices here, and I want to let you know as much as I know about them. And I'm looking at Scarlet, like, please tell me if I'm like I say, Scarlet, please tell me if I missed some details here. But we got enough dragon fire here that we can turn this place into a smoldering heap. I'm sure we can destroy that stock. Roll some of these barrels over there. We get into the hallway. We fire some of these dragon sticks at it. We light it up. We run the hell out. That yellow muskweed, yellow musk creeper is going to be decimated.
I think Andre says, "Fuck yeah," you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Or or we go to the north hall where they've got the rest of the dead buried, and we see what these dwarves are all up about. Why did this start happening? Because this didn't just grow for nothing. And if this yellow muskweed was used as a weapon against them, Their spirits are still going to be haunting this place. Spirits are still going to be causing problems, and we might be able to put some of them to rest. I'm not a cleric; it's not my forte, but I do know that leaving ghosts or undead in a place generally doesn't go well. Sooner or later, one of them wakes up and has got reasons to be upset. And I sort of look at Scarlet, an undead creature who's been put to sleep and woken back up again.
Right. She says, if we blow this place up, we'll lose the story of what happened here. And Andre's like, is that what we're here for? The fucking story? I thought we were delving. I thought we were keeping shit safe. Blowing this place up keeps Jakeway safe.
Maybe it keeps Jakeway safe. Maybe it just pisses off whatever else is in the rest of this dungeon. I'm not saying we wouldn't get rid of the yellow musk creeper. I'm saying we might cause other things to come out of it. And I look at Blue and I'm like, you want to weigh in on this? I know you're not delve lead. Just want to make sure we all know what we're walking into.
Yeah, I'm not. I'd like to deal with that center stock before we go looking at whatever's in the north, if we could. But I'm not about blowing anything up. That's not what we're here to do.
All right. Let's light some small fires so it's lit and those vines aren't going to be coming out after us. We're going to pour some of this. We're going to get a barrel, and instead of planting it in front of the stalk and blowing it to smithereens, we're going to pour some of this dragon fire powder in a circle around it. We're going to light it up so we've got some light in the room, and so it's not coming after us.
Oh, nice.
Put a barrier between us and it.
That's a nice plan.
All right. Somebody with more than one arm, start hauling barrels.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like Andre starts like pick a barrel up and he'd know. He's a sailor. They all roll barrels. Like they know that like they're round because you're supposed to roll them.
Yeah.
So they roll them out. And yeah, I think I think there are a lot of things that could go wrong, right? Because
totally.
Blue is like holding the lantern on the stalk. You're getting the thing around. You're getting the powder in a circle, and you're getting the right amount of powder, making sure nothing explodes. I'd like to see a roll of some kind. I don't know
Absolutely. Yeah. I think this is either sort of a charisma roll to coordinate it or an intelligence roll to plan it.
I'm good with either one.
All right, let's go charisma.
Okay.
That's what I want to be doing. I want to be giving them the right instructions to figure things out themselves rather than me figuring it out for them.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. No good. And I don't think I can argue that this falls under the skill of survival. I don't know what skill it would fall under.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's not survival or athletics. Not to lay it all out.
Yeah.
Maybe lore. I don't know. But doesn't look like that. So yeah, that's a donut there. That's a bad time.
Things go wrong, and I think the fire is the dragon fire powder is way stronger than you thought it was going to be.
Yep.
And when it lights, there's just this big flash, and I think the reaction from the yellow musk ghoul is not to go dormant apparent, when there's fire, it kind of freaks.
Yeah.
And so like the vines kind of freak out, smoke fills everywhere. Uh, you don't know where anyone is. Um, and it's just kind of a clusterfuck as the vines really freak out on everyone.
Yeah.
And smoke fills this the feast hall. And yeah, I think a bunch of vines are like trying to grab you and drag you down. But things are also on fire. What do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm coughing and I'm yelling. Everybody, I'm yelling for everyone to get out because the plan was to be able to go to the North Hall, but
Right.
once something goes bad, it's back up, right? It's go back to the hall we've cleared. That's what I'm thinking. Everybody,
Yeah.
get out of here. But I can't see anybody, and also I'm being attacked by vines, so I'm gonna start chopping, right? Like
Yeah.
I think uh I think it's fair with my lovely five that like at least one of them's got a good hold on me, got a hold
Yeah.
on my leg or something like that. So I can't just say like I'm bound out of here.
Yep. Yep. No, I
And
think we've definitely got to like deal with the danger. So
yeah,
like just like a general roll, and then we can like if you free yourself from that, we can start to talk about a dungeon exit roll.
yep. Okay, yeah, let's roll Dex.
Yeah.
Swinging these vines,
Sounds
getting
good.
free. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh God, the end of Micah's is
Um.
nigh. All right, yeah,
Uh.
yeah. Only features mentioned. I want to point out the irony that Micah claimed they didn't tend to catch on fire. Yeah, I don't tend to. I try to avoid it honestly, but
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll another d6 for damage.
okay.
So let's see what that looks like.
All right, I got 7 hit points. Oof.
Another 5.
All right.
And I think that's just like flaming tendrils and them trying to grab you.
Yeah.
And I think you're clearly not free,
Nope.
and you're you hear Andre, yelling. Magic missiles shoot out of the purple magic or blue
Blue.
azure neon blue magic missiles like rat tat 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 out of out of the smoke. um and they clearly aiming at the center stock, but like do they really? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's turning into a real clusterfuck in here.
Yeah. I think um Micah growls, even though they're in human form right now, growls and yells um and is the first plan was escape, but I think at this point they've been pulled into the stock, right? They're on the inside of the ring of fire that they made. They got burned on the way through. Um and they kind of grit their teeth. They're burnt, they're cut, they're bludgeoned, and they're just like delvers delve so landers live.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and sink that axe into that ghoul's head
Yeah.
because I think at this point I can't escape. I think it's fight it's destroy this thing or it's gonna destroy me. And
Yep.
I tried talking before, and that was before I lit the room on fire. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna listen now. So
Yep.
yeah, let's roll that swinging an axe.
Yep.
I think this is probably strength.
Yeah.
Not trying to escape. I'm trying to kill this thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I think blue definitely rattled off some magic missiles, and and uh, you know, you can see like that, like those fissures dug in, and then yeah, you get your way in, and you hear the the axe, cleave through this kind of fibrous vine and then hit bone.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do that, you know you're in, and you keep hitting until until whatever kind of intelligence was behind these vines is kind of gone. And they're just like in a retraction, get away
No,
from
they're
the
just
fire.
doing, yeah, get away, giving the natural flea fire. All right. So I think, yeah, like you said, I just like keep swinging and I keep swinging until like maybe a couple whacks after I've realized it, just to be on the safe side. And, and, um, and I don't know if you ever do that thing where you're trying to like get like one sock off your foot with your other foot while you pinch it. I'm like trying to like kick
Yeah,
the vine free of my foot, and knock it away with the axe and the thing that dragged me in the first place. And as I'm coughing, I start calling out, you know, Blue, Scarlet,
right.
Andre. And I'm just waiting to hear that they're.
Are you looking to exit? Are you looking to stay now?
I think we're going to stay. I don't
Okay.
think we have to flee at this point because I don't think
Yeah.
there's a threat. But I
Yeah.
want to make sure they're, it's smoky and it's
Yeah.
chaotic. I think before exiting, my plan is actually to go north at this point because I think we've killed the school, destroyed the school. But before I do anything, I want to assess how everyone's doing.
Yeah. Uh, I think like it's still smoky. Like it's still hard to see who the fuck is where.
Yeah.
Make a perception roll.
Cool. A wisdom roll.
Make a wisdom roll.
Nope.
Okay.
Although I think this should fall under survive. Well, do they detail the skills at all in this game? I can't
I don't
remember.
think so. Um,
No, it wouldn't fall under survival because there's an awareness skill.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, cool. I think you call out for everyone. Scarlet and Blue, come out of the smoke, and and Andre doesn't answer.
Shit. Is there a pathway for us to get out of the to get out? I guess that's the dungeon exit
Yeah,
move.
yeah. I mean, you've made yourself a path, a path to the south.
Yeah.
I would definitely say like take +1 to that roll.
Yeah. Um, I Mike Micah says, you know, Blue, get Scarlet out of here. I said, Delve's over.
Yeah, yeah.
Calling the Delve. Blue, get Scarlet out of here, and I'm gonna go see if I can find Andre and pull him out.
Cool. Where are you looking?
Well, when we went out, I'm trying to piece together where he was when everything, like when we lit it up, when everything
Yeah,
went to pot, and
everybody moved in a big hurry because everything was moving so much. So it just,
exactly.
yeah,
And I suspect Andre was of the like let's kill it variety. He seemed
right,
real ready to blow things up and
right,
destroy this thing. So I'm gonna go towards the stock, where I think he would have. Yeah, like I didn't judge any part of him that seemed cowardly or greedy, right? Like if I thought he
right.
was greedy, I'd go towards where the gold coins were. If I thought he was cowardly, I'd go towards the exit. But I think
Yeah,
I feel like he was like, yeah, gung ho. So
Yeah,
I think
you go to the stock and you don't see anything around that he contributed to that combat at all.
okay,
You know he's got like a short sword on his hip and a dagger, on his lower back, and he had the chain, kind of wrapped in, on the back of his vest. But you don't remember him joining in with you at all.
yeah,
But like amidst the smoke and everything, maybe he was just on the other side of it. But like when you look at the stock, you don't see signs of like short sword chops or knife pokes or
right,
anything,
right, right,
and
right.
you definitely didn't hear a dragon stick go off. So you have
Yeah.
no idea where he went.
Okay. Um, I think I'm gonna go to the west. Um,
Okay.
I'm gonna. Yeah, it's smoky and messy and gross. Tell
Yep.
me if you feel like I'm pushing credulity here by
No,
continuing the
no,
search.
no. It's fine. No,
Yeah,
you're not pushing credulity. I will say like I know where he is.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
you
I'm gonna go to the west because I remember there was water
yeah
there, and maybe he would, go to a place that wasn't gonna burn, where you get fresh
yeah
water, etc. At
yeah
the very least, if there is fresh water, I'm gonna get some so that I'm not coughing as much. But
yep
yeah,
yep. And when you go down into this area, you can tell like this is where like the dwarves' holy shrine was,
yeah,
and it's like this pathway down. Again, paying homage to the axe and the crossbow bolt as like, hey, this is what our purpose is. But then when you get down into that big room, there's like about 5 inches of standing water, and a carving on the wall that shows water kind of wearing away at stone, and it's kind of an elemental religious shrine to the way to just wearing away at something that seems insurmountable through like slow, deliberate hard work.
yeah. And
Uh,
I kind of like it, it's a little, it's, I don't know, amusing is the right word, but it's curious to uh, Micah, who would have associated dwarves with the mountain itself, and
Totally.
this seems more like dwarves sort of associating with water. Of like we're slowly carving, we're slowly making a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They don't really know what to make of the religious significance, but it's interesting. It wasn't what they were expecting.
Yeah.
And I think you said it's standing water,
It's like
but there
uh
was running water somewhere, right?
there
Like,
there it does run. Like it's
okay,
5 inches of water, and it's kind of like it runs down the south wall and then like through a gap in
got
the
it.
in the
Okay,
north.
so
But
yeah,
it's all like water could run through it, but like a person couldn't really get through it.
all right. So I think I pulled on. Well, the mask I'm sure is gone right now after I wolfed out. So I'm just gonna like drink some of this water
Yeah, it's
to
very, very cool and uh,
refreshing.
refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
and I
you've got I think also the smoke rises, right? And these rooms are a little bit lower than the Great Hall, so
yeah,
like the air is a little bit more fresh,
yeah,
and I think because if there's running water and there's running air, so yeah, this whole area like you feel like it's a little bit cooler,
yeah.
and the yeah, it's a refreshing place.
Yeah, I'm gonna wash off a little bit. Try. I know you can't really wash pollen off; it gets into everything. But I'm gonna try and
Right.
clean myself off a little bit. And I yell out a couple times, Andre, you hiding in here anywhere?
Yeah.
And
Nope.
yeah, and I know there's another room here, but I'm not in cartography mode. I'm in
Yeah.
get my people the hell out of here mode.
Yep.
So
Yep. You don't see any evidence that he was in here.
yeah,
And like when you realize when you're standing here, the water is running slowly enough that like the pollen sits for a bit, right? Like it doesn't just run out.
yeah.
It's like a slow run. So
I'm gonna
yeah.
take my I'm gonna take my mask, and I'm gonna get it wet so it'll do a little better smoke
Yep.
prevention. Drop it in the water, get it wet, and put it back on, and head back up those steps.
Yeah.
And the only place to go is the place that I was sort of hoping to. Well, initially wanted to go to. Now I want to avoid, but here we go. I'm going to go to the north
Yeah.
North Hall towards where I smelled the dead.
Yeah, and you can see here that
And I guess at this point, like I must have sent them out, and I
right.
have the lantern. Like
Yeah.
I think I like held the lantern up for them to get far enough down the hallway that they were in the sunlight,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
I was
That makes
like,
sense.
"Here
That
I'm
makes
going."
sense.
Yeah. So
Yep.
axe is on my back, lanterns out.
Yep. And yeah, you come down this hallway and um you trip over like in the hallway are like strong roots like used to be in the front hallway or the
Yeah.
southern hallway where you came in and like uh you can see like it's not as smooth there it's bumps like there's stuff under it there's stuff
Like people,
and
probably.
right people or things
Yeah.
and the door to the left goes into a barracks or what was once a bunch of bunk beds and stuff that no one clearly no one's in there
Yeah.
and then the
I give
door
one little Andre. Nothing. Move
right
on. Yeah.
yeah and the door to the right has a bunch of dwarven bodies and like you can tell like this was the last stand and vines have like grown through their bones and grown around them and they're all kind of ended up pushing against that last door to the east but like the ghouls never got it open and I think like as you put your light across them there are several ghouls in here not just the one in the main stock but these aren't as big as that one and
Hmm.
like as you put the light across it like their little hoods their little plant hoods come down over their skulls.
I sort of peer. I imagine there's lots of shadows being cast by all the bumps and the
Yeah.
shapes and
Yep.
whatnot. And so I'm peering through it, and I'm like, Andre, this is past the point of ridiculous. If you're still breathing, let me know. I gotta get you out of here. And I really hope he says I'm here. And if he
Right.
doesn't, I'm gonna start heading down. And I just definitely like got the light on the ghouls to help keep the
Yep.
like hood over them.
Yep. Yeah,
It
I
looks
think
like
you.
there's a door halfway down the partway down the hallway.
Yeah. It was some kind of storage closet.
Yeah,
And yeah, there's not much in it. Uh, maybe there was like it was like a pantry.
yeah,
But it's just kind of overgrown and there are some bugs in there. That's about it.
yeah. All right. Um, doing that thing that you do in horror movies where you're all cut, burnt, beat up, and yet you're still walking with just a lantern,
Yeah.
pointing it at these ghouls so that they stay inert.
Yep.
And I try and weave between them to get to that final door at the end of the hallway.
Oh wow. Uh,
I mean, I haven't seen any evidence of Andre yet, right? I've
right.
gone,
No.
I've gone
No.
every which way
Yep.
except for back, which I just didn't. I'm
Right.
here, so yeah,
Right.
yeah. And you said it looked like they like were holding them off to prevent them from getting into this door.
Yeah. It looked like these like these ghouls. So these dwarves died, got overtaken, and then tried to batter down this door and never did.
Yeah,
And and yes, this door is like you can see like there's like vines like trying to like get at this door and just being unable to do so.
they just can't pry it open. Is it
Yeah.
marked with anything? Is there a crossbow? Is there a crossbow bolt and an axe inscribed on it or
Oh
anything
yeah.
else?
No, there's not in this one. Not in this one.
Okay. Yeah, so I go up to it and I give it a good grab, and it seems to me like this door has not been opened in ages, right?
Right,
Like
right,
it's
right.
like Andre definitely didn't just sneak in here, right?
No, this door, yeah, this door has not been open in a long time, and things tried.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I get any sense of what it might be? Like, I know this was barracks on one side. Does it look like
Right,
I mean, I know I sort of saw the temple. I've seen the money changing area. I'm like thinking,
right.
like, what's part of dwarven society? We got the barracks. We got the
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got the money. We got the
Um,
munitions. We got the temple. Like,
do you want to make like an intelligence roll to like
yeah. Why
kind
don't I
of,
make a lore roll here and see
yeah,
if I can figure out, um, you know, Phil. Yeah. Let's see if I can
yeah,
get a sense of what this might be. Nope. Jiminy crickets. And I think this is like
yeah. So I
Micah
think
getting
what that,
distracted, like pulling open the monster manual
yeah,
or something, and
yeah, I
reading
think,
it.
and what that failure I think also shows. So it shows a couple things. Um, you're also out of time because I've been keeping time.
Yeah,
So like if you want to continue looking for him, you'd have to go into you'd have to go into not overtime, but yeah, overtime, right?
yeah,
Overtime. Yeah, which is gonna fuck up your paperwork roll. Like the more overtime you go into, is gonna be a minus to your paperwork.
yeah,
And your paperwork is gonna be tough anyway if you lost a hunter.
yep,
But yeah, I think like you bust your ass looking up and down this hallway trying to find a hint, and you know you keep the light on the ghouls. That's not a problem. But
okay.
I think you know you're running out of oil and you're running out of time.
I kicked the door, like
Right.
the way that, um, uh,
So I think when you kick it, you're like, oh fuck, someone spiked the door from the other side. Like I know what that feels like. Like
oh yeah, like it's got that same kind of,
yeah, it's got like a just an immovableness that comes from oh I've done that. I've spiked doors like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think we're getting into this door short of having a wizard with a knock spell or a construction team.
Right.
And I'm just like um, cursing Andre under my breath. Like, where the hell did you go? And yeah, I'm gonna back out, right? Like Sean's super curious about what's behind this door, and so is
Yeah.
Micah. But
Yeah.
I don't have any tools. I don't. I got the crow axe. I could try and pry it open, but many years of undead have tried to get in and haven't made it. I don't think
Yep.
I'm doing it at this point.
Fair enough.
Um, all right, so I know the clock's ticking in terms of my overtime, but I think it's a lot worse. I think I'd rather deal with too much overtime
Yeah.
than missing a
Oh yeah.
hunter.
Oh totally.
So I'm gonna go back to the room with the gold bullion in it
Yep.
because that's the only area that I haven't searched as far as I know.
Yeah. I think you search up and down there and you can tell that no one has been in there since you've been in there. Like as soon as you walk in, you're like you could tell from the tracks. Um, no one has been in there. The room to the left that you've never gone in is like printing press pieces,
Mm,
like parts of a printing press, but like none of them are put together. And there's some ink and vellum, uh, but it doesn't look like there's enough pieces to make a full printing press. It's just extra pieces.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Mike is sitting there. They're trying to put two and two together. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And finally, like, that asshole ran away. I've been searching for his ass the whole time. Because as far as I can tell, and Judd, tell me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
like, I've searched every corridor of this bloody hall at this point.
Yep.
And the only place I haven't searched is outside, um, which is a perfectly sensible thing to do. Run the hell away.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna do one last sweep of the main hall on my way out, and then leave this place because I
Okay.
can't think of any other place.
Yeah, yeah. Make a perception roll. Or a wisdom, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Whew. Finally.
Okay. Um,
11.
you are looking things over and in the Great Hall, and in the southwest, in the southwest corner is like there's an area where there just are no vines at all. It's just right down to the stone, as if they were cleared. And it just catches your eyes like, wait, what? Like you realize you haven't seen stone other than in the entryway where you cleared it.
Right.
And it doesn't look burned. Because like maybe it burned away everything, right? Or but no, it does not look burned.
Does it look like it's cleaved? Like someone hacked at it? Or just
No.
isn't
Like it's just been moved aside.
you said it's in the southwest corner?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think curiosity gets the best of Micah, and I'm like, what the hell? And
Yeah.
I start pulling up the light to see if there's any the edges of this, and like if there's like
Yeah.
a corridor in the shadows that wasn't on the map,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a secret door or something like that.
You're looking and you find the like little handhold of the secret door.
Nice.
And there is a hallway. And I think like there's a hallway that's like a Y, and like right in the middle of the Y is Andre's body.
I get close, but I don't quite go up to him first. Can I tell the sign of? You say Andre's body. I assume he's not moving. I assume he looks dead.
He is not moving.
Yeah. I look. Do I see what got him?
It looks like he I mean, you know exactly what this is, right? You've had it happen to you. It looks like a vampire bite to the neck. And
Oh
like
man.
and when you think back to Scarlet, you realize that like she had like a smear of like yellow, of yellow
Pollen.
across her face, pollen across her face. But you
Yeah.
didn't think across because like everyone is covered in pollen and
Yeah.
everyone is
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
attacked by. But like now that you think about it, you're like, oh shit, that was covering blood. Like
This is a really good conundrum, Judd.
I didn't make it, you made it. I did not make this adventure for this conundrum at all. It's just like one roll after another, and I was like, oh shit, this is what happens. I get it. Yeah, I did not. This is not what I set out to do
No, no,
at
I'm not
all.
saying
I
I'm
know.
not saying you did. I'm not
Cool,
saying you
cool,
did
cool,
at
cool,
all.
cool.
I just there's a so the to make the internal dialogue external.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Micah is debating between two different sort of sensibilities, right?
yeah,
Two different values. One value would say, uh, this guy was an asshole. He deserved what had coming to him. If it's revealed that Scarlet killed him, she's never going to get refugee status, and I should just leave him in here and never say I found anything, and just say, oh, I lost him. Another
right,
value is like this guy stood at my side, fought this stuff with me, I don't like him, but I understand he was doing his job, and I don't think he deserves to be killed because he's doing his job. Did not particularly malign Scarlet. I mean, kept her hostage, but didn't hurt her. Didn't wasn't a horrible human being to her.
right,
Didn't
right,
deserve to be killed by her. Right? Wasn't trying to keep her Wasn't trying to put her in danger. She killed him at a moment of opportunity. And as much as I like Scarlet, or I thought I liked Scarlet, that's not the right thing to do. And I think we cut to
yeah,
Micah walking out,
Yeah, but
looking real.
I want to take a minute of that for that internal dialogue of
Yeah,
like you in this secret corridor that no one's been in, you know, other than ostensibly Scarlet and Andre for like centuries. Uh, Everything's real quiet. There's like this one lantern light, uh, and you're kind of like squatting like against the wall next to this dead body, like thinking about these things and what's right and what's wrong
yeah,
before whatever you do next. I just wanted to like take a moment to enjoy that, like
yeah,
that before
yeah.
we jump into whatever's happening. But let's do it. What happens next?
I think what happens next is the camera kind of catches Micah walking out of the dungeon, looking horribly bedraggled, and then as the camera pans down, we see that their one arm has a manacle on it, and the other end of the manacle is Andre's arm, and they're dragging him out. They're dragging the body out.
Oh Jesus!
Because I think that's the only way I can't carry him. I got to open up doors and hold lanterns and all this shit.
Oh
So
right,
I got
right.
I think actually the manacle's on my leg, and I'm doing that thing where when you got something heavy in your leg, just dragging my one leg as I'm dragging him along so I can hold the lantern, and I'm just dragging him by the leg and me by the leg because it's the only
You
way.
don't think like a fireman's carry would be the way to go?
I mean,
You really
I
want this manacle thing? I think is what you.
I think I'm fighting for the symbology of the manacle thing here.
All right, all right.
And I think with one arm and being beat to hell and being at 2 hit points,
Yeah.
and having to still carry the lantern, yeah, I think the manacle thing
Okay.
is a
All right.
reasonable
I'm down. I'm down.
it's a reasonable solution. Maybe not the best solution, but all right. Let me roll that get out of the dungeon roll, right?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
unless you just want to skip to the post-all paperwork roll, which I know is going to be a goddamn disaster, but um, I don't know if there's any remaining threats in this dungeon.
uh,
Where's the
I don't think so.
okay?
I think like there are the ghouls up in the north, but I don't think they're coming south today.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the only possible threat at this point is Scarlet. If she when she sees me, dragging this body.
yeah, and I think like when Blue sees that, she was like sitting with Scarlet, kind of chatting, and when she sees you coming in dragging, she like gets up and like fans out and like puts both hands on her staff and looks at you like, all right, what now?
Yeah, I don't think it's immediately obvious the cause of death because Andre has been dragged by this chain. Like it's gonna be obvious to anybody who pays attention. But the moment I see Blue, I'm like, I just am shaking my head, and um, and I say, Andre didn't make it, and I'm like, and I look at Scarlet to basically like read her to see like what she's I don't say Scarlet killed him, but
Right.
I'm looking at her like, uh, what do you expect to have happen here?
Yeah,
Uh,
she says, what happens to me?
my guess is you're going to get tried for murder, and that you're going to have a court that does not look favorably upon you, a court that's biased from the get go that wants to convict you, regardless of whether you're guilty or not.
I think I'll take my chance in these mountains rather than in your backward city, if you don't mind.
I'm not a hunter, which is my way of saying it's not my job to bring you in.
Yeah, she nods and like she looks at Blue and says, Good luck. And Blue shakes her head, and yeah, she walks off into the mountains.
Yeah. Help me with this. And I refer back to Andre.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I'm trying to like carry my
yeah.
axe in the back and my lantern and Andre, and it's
She
just like,
she takes the manacle off of you and like wraps that up, and then like you know, uh, awkwardly moves the body, but not as awkwardly as dragging him across a
yeah,
bunch of stone. And she's like, "Fuck! I'm glad I'm not filling out the paperwork for this mess. Holy shit!"
yeah. It's a giant mess. That I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what happened, but I don't know. It's a fucking mess. Well, I don't think the weeds are gonna come back.
Can you blame her?
Do you think she felt threatened by him? Do you think that she felt like it was her or him?
He he was going to manacle her up once we were done and take her back to prison until the
Where
paperwork gets done, if it ever gets done.
and I was working on getting it done.
You were working on it? Come
Who do you
on.
think filed the paperwork?
I know, but it can take a year. It can take more.
Yeah, she
And
didn't. I don't
I'm
think
just
the system is perfect by any means, but I don't think killing somebody who is being part of that system is a solution either. I don't know. I'm not going to cast stones. As
you
far as
kind
I'm
of are.
concerned,
You kind of are casting stones. The moment you drag that body out of that secret door, you were casting stones. Like as Blue says that, you're like, "Oh shit." Blue knew. Like Blue saw it.
oh wow. I'm like, you knew this? You knew this and you let me go run back in there after him.
I
I mean, I didn't ask you permission, I guess, but
yeah, I knew. Listen, Micah, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to take a look, close the secret door, and never say another word about it, and we'd let Scarlet go, and we'd say she got away, and we don't know where the hell he went. I thought that's the way we were going to play this. I didn't think you were going to drag him out and make a fucking dramatic thing out of it.
well, what happens when the next set of Delvers go back in here? Because it's not like we're done, and they find him, and we're leaving a mess for someone else to clean up.
We could have talked to them. Delvers look out for each other.
Well, it's done now.
Yeah, it's done now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I put you in added danger, Micah. That wasn't my intent. I
I'm not mad about that. I just don't know where the hell I stand on this.
I hear you. I hear you. It's fuck.
I just I can't throw away a person's life that easily,
I hear you.
even if they're an asshole, even if they're carrying out things I think are wrong.
I think that's an easy choice to make from where you're sitting. Is what I think. But however you want to play this, I got your back.
kind of looking down at the body, and it's just like, we got a shovel in this pack?
Do we?
Let me dig around. Look around. I don't know if we have a shovel. You should probably have a shovel.
Oh shit, I don't think we have a shovel. She says people have used the crow's axe for one before.
Yeah, all right. Help me bury this asshole.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. I think we're gonna bury him, and we're gonna say he didn't make it, and we're gonna not say what happened.
Yeah.
And I want to coordinate that with Blue so we don't trip each other up. I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
he died in the escape. We buried him. Scarlet ran off.
They're gonna come dig him up, don't you think?
Why? They're gonna come explore the dungeon, but I don't think they're gonna come for him.
Don't you think his hunter brothers are gonna want to know where he's buried?
He's buried on a beautiful mountaintop.
His family? I mean, what? I don't understand why we're telling them that we're burying that he's buried.
You're saying we should just say he died in the fire?
Yeah.
All right. We're the only two who made it out. I'm still burying his ass though. Not leaving him.
Okay.
Just here.
Yeah. Whatever you want. Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
So do you want to make a paperwork roll on that?
Yeah. Let's try it. Post delve. Let's see, where is it? Post delve paperwork. Here we go. For each one of these, I plus one roll. Delve goals accomplished. Yeah? We got rid of the weed, right?
Yeah.
Everyone made it out. Nope. The dungeon is no longer a threat to Jakeways. Nope. And I think I've got another -1 on that because of going overtime, right?
You didn't go into overtime.
I did. Okay.
Yep. You were on the verge.
All right. So I think I'm rolling at +1 right now, which is I only got the first one, which is I should pull this up, which is the delve goals were accomplished.
Cool.
Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. That makes no sense, but okay.
Oh man.
Wild.
Yeah, I think it goes all right. Yeah, I that's really fascinating. I think it also comes down to Andre didn't have any he didn't have an uncle who was a city elder,
Right.
or an aunt, so he didn't have any big important people to pull for him. And yeah, it goes all right.
They buy the story that
they buy it.
He and Scarlet were lost in the fire. I mean, I think that's what I think. If we're not bringing either one back, that's what we just tell them. It was a big fire, and we lost them both.
Yep.
They were manacled together.
Yep.
At least when they went in. Yeah. I think that almost feels worse. I think that almost feels worse. Like Micah was kind of
totally.
kind of wanted to be caught. They kind of were like hoping that they knew they were lying, and they were like their guilt sort of wanted to someone to get caught, so they had to fess
Yeah.
up to it. And now
Yeah.
it's like it's
It
just
just
between them and
it's just
Blue.
smooth. Like it's just works. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really interesting. I kind of like it. I like whenever the dice tell us things that we're like, "What?"
yeah, exactly.
Uh
Well, I get 3 hold, and one of the things I'm going to do is add a party member to my. I'm adding Blue to the Delvers. I'm getting Blue hired on as full time.
okay.
You know, so that they become one of the Delvers. It's part of. I mean, if I think that's sort of what I don't know. Add a party member to your Delve. I didn't. I guess I didn't think that out very much, but I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm,
uh yeah, is this one that you wrote?
It is, but now I'm looking
Okay.
at it going, what did I have in mind? I mean, I think one interpretation of that, I think what I meant when I wrote that rule was that I could spend a hold to just be like, I don't have to roll to get Delve support. I can just have a person because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got.
I like that. I like that the paperwork gets filled out in such a way that it's clear that you have a rapport with someone, and they're like, hey, if they've got a rapport, let them work together,
Yeah.
and and cool. That's awesome. So
Nice.
yeah, I like that. I think that's a cool one. I would like to add that to my Google Doc, so I will add that in a bit.
Cool.
Um, that's a good move. Shall we do XP?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do XP.
Um, Post session questions up to 2 ticks.
Yeah.
Did you overcome a challenge with cunning?
What do we have this in a? Do we have this in a? Um, it's in the Google Doc, right?
It is. Do you want me to add it to the?
Yeah, let's throw it in roll 20. Just so people could see it. I just want to be able to
Yep.
share it.
Cancel. I see how you do it. Okay. What do you do? A handout or yeah?
Yeah, we'll make a handout.
And in description and notes, you put the thing.
Yeah, just copy paste it into the notes.
Got it. Got it. Got it. All right. I'm making it right now. Hold on 1 second.
Cool beans.
Uh, Post XP questions. I'll just put XP questions. Save. Cool.
Got it. Yeah,
It's
that's
up.
great. All right. Did you overcome a challenge with cunning? Yeah, I mean, bizarrely, I think so. I think we dealt with we used that dragon fire
Yeah.
to deal with those plants. I think that was pretty.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty smart.
Yep.
And and yeah, it was a bit circuitous, but I think we kind of gamed the system by calling Scarlett
A consultant.
a consultant. So
Yeah.
I think there's 2 ticks on that one.
Awesome. I'm happy for 2 ticks. Did you add a new entry into the monster manual or an addition to the map? I mean, you found the secret area, so like
Yeah.
you've
I
got a
think
new area on the map.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think we added a new entry to the monster manual. I should remember that one though, because
Yeah.
I think if I had been thinking about it, I might have been like, cool, we're gonna say like we're gonna talk a little bit about the ghouls themselves, but
Yeah.
I definitely didn't do that, and so it's just good to remember for next time. So all right, so we're at
Yeah.
3. Did you express something about your family, community, or neighborhood? Yeah. I talked with Andre about growing up in Fleet,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
what it's and playing Wyvern Ball and built this camaraderie with this dude that died, let somebody kill. So yeah, I think I did that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I did it again when talking to Blue about the consequences
Awesome.
of Andre.
I'm good for 2 ticks. So we're up
Yeah,
to 5 ticks. Yep.
yeah. Did you accomplish the session task? Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
we got rid of the weeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you live up to the mod on your helmet? Delvers dig so landers live. I don't think so.
Right.
I don't
Right.
feel like I did.
Right.
I
And we
don't
and we
feel.
might and we might want to change the wording of that to like, did you live up to the motto, or I mean, there's that thing with beliefs in Burning Wheel where it's
Yeah, like
like
the mold breaker
you
or challenge.
did you chafe against it, you know?
Yeah, I
Um
definitely did that
yeah,
because
I'm going to add an XP and we'll change the wording of that.
okay,
So did you live up to the motto, or did you chafe against what it, those standards or something?
yeah,
I'll word it, but yeah. Yeah.
cool. I think that was 5, 6. Is that 7?
Yep.
All right. So I'm at 19 XP, and 22 is what I need to get to the next level.
Cool.
So
And
I'm
yeah, and
close to.
yeah, you have to get 32 XP, and you have to either found a chapter house or secret society, train a delve support specialist, and or recover an artifact. So yeah, they're like, there's XP, and then there are some tasks that you have to do to
Yeah,
get you second.
yeah. Cool,
And
cool, cool, cool.
cool.
Well, I will put one of those in my list for next time.
I'm
Wow.
sorry if it was like a gruesome noir downer there,
I
Sean. I
mean, it
feel like
wasn't gruesome. It was
I'm
just
getting,
this. It was just this morality
yeah,
question, right?
yeah,
About where Micah stand, and I mean, let's be honest. Like we're constantly making this game a metaphor for our 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 current world. Like,
yeah,
uh, what would I do? I'm asking the question, what would Micah do? But I also have to ask myself the question, like, what would I do if I was in that situation?
right,
And you know, and I can't fathom turning someone over to the police and saying this
right,
person killed a cop, right? Like that idea to me
right.
seems like I've just ended their lives. But like also like I don't think murder is right. It's
Right.
just like it, it it's a thought experiment that we can do in this game, but it was a painful one, right? Like it
Okay.
was,
Good. As long as it was like a good grind and not like, oh, Judd, this is not what I wanted. I just
no, no,
wanted to.
no, no.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's
And
you know it's that like question of living our beliefs, and this is one of those places where those beliefs get very
yeah,
like muddled. Like it's not an easy belief to live one way or the other.
yeah.
So
And like I was thinking like, all right, Scarlet is going to look for an opportunity, but like things are really going to have to go wrong for her to get one.
yeah,
And and
they
and they
super did.
and they super did, yeah. And like at the precise moment, like where like smoke and fire and you know uh yeah, yellow musk ghoul, and it was all kind of writhing and everything's jumping around, and yeah, there we went. So I
Yeah,
wasn't like thinking like, oh, this is definitely going to happen. I was thinking, oh, if the dice tell me this happens, then I'll let it happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it totally
And
makes sense. I mean, and for what it's worth, Micah's absolutely kicking themselves in the same way that I've kicked myself over decisions I've made in the past. They're absolutely kicking themselves for not just like opening that door and being like, nope, and closing it again, right?
right,
Like their life would have been so much simpler if they had just closed it. Because in the end, they didn't even bring him home. Like they didn't even stand, they didn't even hold those convictions. They just knew that in that moment it didn't feel right to leave him there, and
yeah,
they feel somewhat better about at least burying him and doing it intentionally, even if it was just as cowardly. Like
yeah. I
it's
I
like
I like that it doesn't make sense. I like that we're just like, yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure why I did that, but I did it, and
yeah,
I get it. I get it. I get it. I feel like, yeah, it's interesting. This game, this session became very personal for me in a way that I wasn't expecting. So it was
yeah,
cool.
same, yeah.
And
And I
again,
mean,
yeah,
the nice thing is that this is part of playing games is that you can try on different ideas and different beliefs and different things, and
Right.
they aren't things that we as humans have done, right? They're things that we have
Right.
imagined, and that's a whole lot different than than doing them. And as long as we're both taking care of each other
Yeah.
and we're not hurting one another, I think having these discussions is uh, I don't know if fruitful is the right word, but like is meritorious, right? Like there's value in having dealing with these tough things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely.
so cool. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thank you,
This
folks.
has been a lot of fun, and then after it was a lot of fun, it was a lot of difficult. Then it was the significant, a weighty decision, and then it was back to fun again. At least for me, right? Because this is uh, a lot of meaty content in this game.
Yeah. And
So
I've got next time. I didn't do it this time. I meant to, and I totally forgot. I just looked up at my shelf and I was like, "Oh shoot!" I have Delver's Union pins, so
nice.
I will totally give them away next time. We'll have some kind of a contest or something. I don't know what.
That sounds great.
And
Yeah, we can do something in the chat, and
yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah,
But that'll be cool.
that sounds fantastic. I think we're done for the year, and we'll
Oh
pick back up
wow.
again. Is that right? Do we
Yeah,
have
that
another
sounds
game
right. That
scheduled
sounds
this
right.
year?
I don't think
So I
so.
feel like next Friday is 24th, which I'll have with family, and then Friday after that is the 31st, which I'll be traveling. So yeah.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
this is the end of the year for me. I don't know if you've got other games, but we'll pick back up in January. Absolutely.
Yeah, I might have a Monday game with Jay. We might do some sorcering, but our ability to get our schedules together has not been good. So it might just be actually, you know what? I take that back. I take that back. He actually last time we talked, he was like, you know what? Let's talk in January.
Cool.
And so yeah, I'm done for the year. This is it. Yeah, that was a good year. That was a good fucking
Yeah.
year
What a way
of
to wrap
gaming.
up what a way to wrap up the year of actual play.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So friends, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you again in the new year. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Be good to one another, and try not to bite anyone.
And do you want to
Or
say where the stuff from the channel goes and all that?
oh, right, I didn't do that at the start of it. Yes, if since we got some cheer today, thank you again. Only features. Um, all proceeds on the channel that come from but people are delicious. It's true. It's true. All proceeds of the channel are split between Black Lives Matter and the Translegal Defense and Education Fund. And so if you give us monies, that's where they go. And throughout the year, whenever Twitch gives me a payment, I just then split that payment in half and donate to both those funds. And I've been able to do that a few times this year, and I'd love to do it a few more times in 2022. So yeah, it's hopefully we play some games, have a good time, and do some good together as well. Thank you for reminding me of that because I forgot on the intro. I think that's it. Anything else you got before we sign off?
No, that's it. What a year! Oh my goodness, I'm like stunned that we're nearly done. Yeah, cool. That not
Yeah.
nearly done. That this is like 2022 will be the next time we game. That's great.
Yeah. Right.
That's very
Wow.
exciting.
Well, think about how many games we've played, just you and I together. We've done
Yeah,
World of Dungeons, we've done Traveler, we've done Burning Wheel. Yeah, we've played a lot this year, and I'm
yeah,
excited about doing more next year. So,
yeah. Totally. No, it
all right.
was. I'm not bummed. I'm just like I don't know. It is a time is so weird right now that it
Yeah.
feels like oh shit, wow, this is really happening. This end of year
Yep.
thing is really
Yeah. Yeah. This is really going on.
it's real.
All right.
But all right, cool.
All right,
Good night,
friends.
folks.
We'll see you. We'll see you in the new year.
Good night.
Leave that up, sec.
Yep. We know you can hear us. Thank you for joining us.
This is the after party.